Hello, I'm Betsy Cifuentes, and the film I decided to analyze for this critique assignment is a 2011 film called Cyberbully. As for a brief introduction, this film was produced in 2011 and it is a very popular film. It is used to show a lot of other teenagers and slightly older children. And the film highlights the dangers of the online harassment and the importance for standing up against cyberbullying. This film emphasizes the need for communication and coping strategies to help deal with the negative aspects of social media and the internet overall. It does a great job of raising awareness and educating the youth on why it's so harmful to engage in cyberbullying. As for a brief synopsis, the protagonist, her name is Taylor, and she is a teenage girl at her local high school, and she becomes the target of intense cyberbullying after she's harassed by an anonymous online user. As the bullying escalates, Taylor's confidence and mental health quickly deteriorates. She experiences extreme isolation and tons of emotional distress. She even attempts to commit suicide, but then fails. However, with the support that she finds from her family and friends, she gains strength to confront her bully and reclaim control over her life. As for the psychological disorder, I will be focusing on major depressive disorder. This involves episodes of at least five or more of the following symptoms during the same 2 week period, and at least one of the symptoms must be depressed mood or loss of interest and pleasure. And then these are the seven, which include depressed mood most of the day, nearly every day, marked diminished interest or pleasure in all or almost all activities most of the day, significant weight loss when not dieting, weight gain or decrease or increase in appetite, insomnia or excessive sleeping, psychomotor agitation or retardation, fatigue or loss of energy, feelings of worthlessness or excessive guilt, difficulty concentrating or making decisions, and lastly, thoughts of death, suicidal ideation, or suicidal attempts. These symptoms cause significant distress or impairment in school, occupations, or other important areas of functioning. This episode is not attributable to the physiological effects of a substance or other medication, according to the DSM. As for Taylor's relation to major depressive disorder, she has definitely met the criteria, and the film does a great way of depicting that. Um, she has a depressed mood and feels helpless and worthless, and she's overwhelmed by the anonymous online harassment and experiences withdrawals and isolates from her family and friends. And this leads to her often looking very emotionally drained. The second symptom she shows signs of is loss of interest or pleasure in activities. Taylor stops engaging in activities she once enjoyed and becomes more reclusive, showing little interest in interacting with her friends or participating in social events. She also shows fatigue and loss of energy, and it is very evident in her interactions with others, and she exhibits physical signs of exhaustion and emotional depletion. She also shows feelings of worthlessness and excessive guilt. She expresses her guilt for things she hasn't done and wishes she did do, and also goes on to explain how her self-esteem has completely drowned. She also shows difficulty concentrating or making decisions because she struggles with concentrating on her daily activities at school and struggles when making decisions about her life due to all her thoughts constantly being consumed by the ongoing cyberbullying and her anxiety over her self-image. She also has sleep disturbances due to the stress and anxiety and appears on the film to be very tired, restless, and showing signs of insomnia and not being able to sleep. And lastly, the most very clear one was thoughts of death or suicide. Um, she questions her place in the world and attempts to overdose with pills, but fails, as I mentioned earlier. As for the accuracy of major depressive disorder in this film, I feel as it is very accurate, and despite her never actually being diagnosed in the film, the signs and all the symptoms were very clear and they were all there. I feel like this show gives a great representation of how cyberbullying can lead to depression. However, I feel that because it is a short film, it simplifies and condenses some of the complexities of the disorder for the sake of time because a film cannot be excessively long. They're normally like about 2 hours. Um, an example of this would be capturing the long-term effects of MMD, just because it really only showed the beginning of her experiences going through it and then her barely starting to come out of it and get help. It also I feel like the show or the film also just shows MMD in relation to teenagers and what it specifically looks like more for teens other than adults in general or maybe even younger kids. I feel like it's just more accurate. It's just a more accurate depiction of teenagers having major depressive disorder. But overall, I feel like it is still a very useful film. As for my conclusion, this is now my third time watching the movie. My first two times I was shown it. I didn't pick to watch it. I was shown it by um, educators, and this film had a very long-lasting impact on me when I was shown as a child. I feel like it is something that stuck with me and really gave me a strong message that I feel can be very important for other kids. And that's why when this assignment was introduced, I automatically knew what I wanted to do. I didn't even have to do any research on it. However, I did rewatch it just to give my brain um, a brief refresher. I feel like this film would be great for parents and, as I mentioned, even teachers to show this film to their kids when they're about to enter their teen years, just to really raise awareness and educate um, all of the negative impacts and how harmful cyberbullying can really be. But overall, I highly, highly recommend watching it if you have never seen it or if you were never shown it. These are both of my references. This movie also can be found on YouTube. And that is it for my presentation. Thank you so much.